I want to talk about some lessons I learned in Bold today. First one is that life is not fair. Things happen, life happens, shit happens. There's going to be a lot of things in your life that you're not going to be able to control. I mean, everyone knows this. This is pretty standard advice. Everyone knows that you can't control everything. Now, what people don't realize or don't think about is that there's two different types of people in this world. People that want to wonder why life's not fair, and then people that just accept that life's not fair and they look for a way to control what they can control. There's people who victimize themselves, who blame themselves, and not victimize in like an actual victim. I mean more like they limit themselves. People who make up excuses. Well, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, if only this, if only that. And then there are people who say, how can I? How can I get there? You know, I could easily, and here's the thing, it's so important to learn this in real estate. Because I could easily just say, well, I don't have a husband or a wife, for example, who's going to be paying my bills. Because a lot of agents get into this industry because they're like, well, my spouse pays the bills. Let me just be an agent because, you know, like I don't want to be a stay-at-home parent. A lot of agents get in that way, and then they become successful because they get the financial backing to do so. But what does that do? What does that do for me? If I'm sitting here thinking, wow, there's people out there who their spouse pays for their business, like, that does absolutely nothing for me. If that's the advantages they have, good for them. Everyone is blessed in a certain way. You just got to see it. Okay? So that does nothing for me. I'm comparing apples to oranges, but even then, it still doesn't change the fact that it's not changing anything as far as my results and my progress goes. So what can I do to make progress? What can I do to get better? And thinking about that as the primary way. What can I do to get better? Life's not fair. Okay, my parents divorced during the recession. I grew up in a middle lower class family in a rural area. But on top of that, I was able to go to a 4-year college with little debt. I have a twin brother, which is huge. I love my brother. I have parents, both of my parents in my life. Some people can't even see their parents. Some people, they only know one parent. I know both of my parents. And that is all I need. God and family for me. Don't mean to be typical, but I mean, I have that. But there's people out there that don't, because guess what? Everyone's different. Life is unfair. And a lot of people think this way of, if only I had this, if only I had that, or it's not fair that someone gets this, it's not fair that someone has that. That comes from a predicated belief that life needs to be fair. That you are deserving of fairness. No. Mother Nature does not owe you shit. It does not owe you fairness. And I'll even say this with my dad. Obviously, I love my dad. Very smart man. Very intelligent man, without question. Very wise. I look up to him in a lot of ways. He has grown up in a world of people being broke, and so he has a lot of these mindsets that are just poverty mindsets. Like, for example, we were talking about football today, and he said, why does Ohio State football get all the good recruits? Why do they get all the recruits and IU gets all the shitty recruits? And I basically had to tell him, Dad, it's because it's because Ohio State has more funding in their football team. It's because they have a great staff, faculty, history. They can provide more NIL to their athletes. Why? It's because they've had the right people to build an organization that's like that. So, again, like, they are deserving of that. Is it frustrating for IU? Yes, it is. But it doesn't change the fact that it happened because they earned that. And that's how winners think. Winners accept and then they pivot. Now, obviously, this is a lot different than questioning the system and everything. I mean, that's a whole other topic. But what I'm trying to get at here is you are in control of your own actions. If you have any limiting beliefs of yourself, ask yourself, as someone who is in the same position as you become successful? If yes, then you can do it. But then I know what you're thinking. But they're a special person. I'm not. How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't. That's the thing. You just don't. Second thing I talked about today in bold. It was, man, what was it again? Fuck. Life's not fair. And you fail your way to success. Oh, boy. I feel like I've talked about this in all my videos. You fail your way to success. Isn't that my life story? Yeah, I mean, it's very straightforward. The more shots you make, the more likely you're going to be able to score, right? I don't really want to get into that because I talk about that stuff all the time on this channel. So what's the plan tomorrow? Well, first thing I want to do is do my typical FSBO lead gen. After that, I'm going to go ahead and follow up with that for sale by owner. I sent him a text on Tuesday. I sent him a follow-up email on Wednesday. So I'm going to call him on Thursday and just see how he's doing and just find a way to articulate to him why you're going to save more money working with an agent. After that, I'm going to make a social media video. I really want to do a luxury listing. I really do. I really think that's where my social media is going to have to be moving forward, is looking at pretty houses. It just is what it's going to have to be. So I'll go ahead and get one scheduled on Broker Bay. That's it. That's really all I want to talk about in this video. Yeah, but we're going to get swinging tomorrow. It's 12:25. Again, it's so late. I remember I used to make these at like 8 p.m. and shit. Now I'm making them at like 12:30. But to be fair, me working from home has really let me sleep longer. I guess the last thing I want to talk about is that I do have an appointment for those business loans, although I don't know if I'm going to do it because it's a $10,000 investment, but you're paying like 12% interest. That's just insane. I don't think I'm going to do that. Nope. I think that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. But that's going to be it. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to watch some nice, relaxing childhood videos. And then we'll be back swinging tomorrow. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Good night, guys. Take care.